This is the new light and armored vehicle of the United States Armed Forces. It's called L-ATV, and it's made by Oshkosh Defense. At the end of 2019, its mass production began. It was supposed to be the vehicle to replace the entire fleet of HMMWV, or Humvee vehicles. But it won't be like that anymore. On the one hand, there is the new U.S. defense strategy, which refuses to have to be present with its armies in local conflicts. In addition to deciding to prepare, technically and tactically, for a hypothetical future with China and Russia. And on the other hand, there are the costs. The new L-ATV, from Oshkosh Defense, even though it is a magnificent armored light vehicle, is excessive for today's required needs. We are talking about the segment of light armored combat vehicles. In this category, and currently in service, these are the vehicles used by the main armed forces of the most important countries worldwide. To understand technically the reasons for the vehicle design, it is necessary to make clear the fundamental requirement imposed from the beginning. The new vehicle should offer various types of passive MRAP level protection. And all those active protections possible in a vehicle of its category within the established budget. Logically, maintaining the qualities required of a light and armored vehicle, both for combat and tactical support, and must be transportable for helicopters. These maximum protection requirements have been amply met, but they have also been the origin of all the limitations that arose subsequently. These requirements, from the beginning of the JLTV development program, caused great technical differences and tensions between the Army and the Marines. The Army was committed to a robust and highly protected vehicle, while the Marines preferred greater lightness and agility. Although, it was the U.S. Army that led the majority of the purchase, with almost 75% the total vehicles to be hired. These are the ranges and product lines that are currently being manufactured of the Oshkosh Defense L-ATV model. On the right, in red boxes, we see the models that are being developed, and that will soon be incorporated into this family of products. And these are the current forecasts of the different armies of the USA after the last reductions and decided adjustments. We see that the Army, from the year 2025, will look for a new cheaper manufacturer for a similar vehicle to the L-ATV. Another alternative is to get the current manufacturer of the L-ATV to reduce its manufacturing costs. Recall that the Army initially hoped to hire some 100,000 units of the Oshkosh L-ATV to replace its entire Humvee fleet. On the other hand, we see that the Marines, in the year 2023, will have received all the units requested, although, initially, they planned to buy 15,000 units. And the U.S. Air Force now appears to want to swap its entire Humvee fleet for the L-ATV, 3,270 units. The first and most serious of all problems has been the high final cost of the L-ATV. Initially, it was based on a unit cost that should be below $200,000 a unit, 2010. Today, the unit cost is double and close to $400,000. Although depending on the model and the required equipment, this cost can rise to close to $560,000. In addition, maintenance and spare parts costs are much higher, due to component fatigue and to the high weight of the vehicle. And if we think about increasing the protection of the vehicle to the required level of MRAP, with the installation of the B-kit components, we must add another $65,000 more. As it is a heavily armored vehicle, logically, the final weight of the vehicle has caused another added problem. The actual maximum weight of the current L-ATV, as we can see on the screen, cannot exceed 10,206 kilograms, due to the materials and design given to the final vehicle. If exceeded, it would seriously jeopardize its structural integrity and technical performance. Therefore, the total weight, gross weight, of each of the two models, is the sum of the curb weight and the useful load added to the vehicle. But if we add the complete B-kit, which protects it at the level of an MRAP vehicle, we must add another 700 kilograms more. And this has the consequence that we are jeopardizing one of the basic conditions of the vehicle, that is, it was air transportable. Initially, the JLTV program in 2010 required that the new vehicle be air transportable by Sikorsky H-60 medium and other heavy helicopters. This was already done with the new armored HWWMVs. But this condition had to be discarded due to the excess weight of the new L-ATV. In the following graph, we can know the current situation, depending on the heavy helicopter material to be used by the different armies. With Chinook helicopters, the problem for the Army is that its CH-47FS cannot transport the L-ATV with the B-kit MRAP installed. The U.S. Army had to wait until the end of 2020 to upgrade its CH-47F to Block 2. The Marine Corps, with its CH-53 Super Stallion, had no problem, due to the fact that it can carry, externally, a load of up to 14,000 kilograms. But instead, its magnificent MV-22 Osprey can only transport the L-ATV basic model externally hung, without the B-kit installed.